So I just got back from a conciliator meeting, which is like a court hearing, except it's not with a judge. It's with a appointed conciliator, they call them. Judges in cities have a couple conciliators. Well, this one's been with me helping this case out from 10 years ago or so, 8, 9 years ago. And they will not stop my son from going to his grandmother every other weekend, which my son wanted to stop having to go over there because he wanted to stop having to take all his belongings just to enjoy himself. He's 16, going to be 17 here coming up. And that's nothing to do with this video, but that's a little bit of a detail today, what happened with me while I was out earlier. Today is the 28th. I had a meeting doing that today. Now, what I am going to explain right here is to benefit crooked ass people, or maybe you have a hate for somebody that bad for a reason that you can't even explain. But I'm going to explain something here, how crooked the system is, and you can use it for your benefit until hopefully something gets changed, is what my ulterior plan really is, because it ruined my life, really. Even though I turned my life around for the better, no matter what anyway, but they took my son away from me for 7 years. A few years ago I got him back, but now I'm still dealing with crazy grandma. But when he was 3, his mom died, and he was just about 4, and his grandma, who was never involved with him besides maybe a birthday party, one or two, and seen him once or twice throughout his years, 3, 4 years, went and knew what she had to do was convince the court that I should not be raising my son. So what she did, because she was smart enough, because she knew how to play the system, and I was only 24, 25 at the time, she started taking my son after she got unsupervised visits, because she fought hard just to get that. It took her 2 years, about a year, 2 years. She got unsupervised visits with him. The first visit, she started it right away. She started taking my son to his mother's gravesite and crying, bawling her eyes out, pointing down to the ground. Your dad's a liar. Here's your mom. She's buried right here. She's not up above watching down on you. Your dad's lying to you. Right here she is, freaking the hell out of my son out. He would come back crying. He never wants to go with her again. He was freaked out. And I didn't see it coming, but at the time, I was like, no, we can't even have this anymore. That's crazy. I talked to her about it. She straight looked at me dead in the eye, and this is what you got to do if you want to do this. You got to play the grandma's role. Looked at me and said she will do whatever she wants, and I can't. She said, you can't stop me. I have unsupervised visits. The law says I can do what I want. I can do it, and I'm going to do it. And I tried to get a psych evaluation done on her. They refused it. I had no other choice. I was backed up in a corner. I begged for a psych evaluation. I stopped letting her see him right away, but they said, you are forced to let her see him, and there's nothing you can do about it. She's saying she's not doing that, even though she is, and I had to stop her from seeing him. So I chose that route, because any good parent wouldn't make his son go with somebody that would take him to a gravesite, forcefully scaring him, because they won't talk to the kid. So you either got the choice of not letting the grandma F his mind up, or run. Those are the two options you get. I chose run, in a sense. I just stopped letting her see him. The court didn't know what to do, because the cops did not want to take him from me, because they knew the whole story. It lasted years. Got chased down helicopters, guns pulled on people in my life to scare me into certain directions. And I used to go to the military base and work out all the time, play basketball on my spare time, just to prove to the people that I'm not running. They started getting detectives in on me, and they didn't know what to do, because they had to legally take him, but they didn't want to take him. So Nonetheless, eventually they bombarded my house a couple years later after so-called being on the run, and they took him from me. And to make a long story short, if you want to take a kid from somebody, you want to take your grandkid, or I don't know, even your own kid. If you want to scare the hell out of your kid for a time being, take them to a grave site of maybe your grandma, maybe anything. Scare the fuck out of them, and eventually the mom's going to deny you visitation illegally, and it is a contempt of court, and it is mandatory jail time, and you will get your kid. So there's a way to get a kid, and I highly don't suggest to do it, but I know y'all might do it, and some situations it is what it is. Hopefully, a court eventually hears this, because it is a crooked piece of shit rule that they can't take anybody's word on anything, because two people lying means they just scratch it. But like this shit, share this shit, screwed my life up. Just wanted to point it out because I'm so sick of the court effing my life up because grandma keeps lying. And today she said that I make drugs in my house, tried to get me in trouble, but obviously I'm tight with the FBI, so I wasn't worried about it. But it just brought back memories of why am I doing this, because my son asked me to, but he's old enough to not get mentally messed up anymore, and he's graduated, he's a genius. But anyway, like this, share this, and comment on this crazy shit. Don't do this, but if you're gonna do this, do know it's gonna eventually come back in karma and get you anyway. But